You're about to hear something that might shake you to your core. Someone you've been praying about, someone whose face floats into your mind when you least expect it, someone you thought had moved on or forgotten you entirely is carrying news that's going to reach you soon. And I'm not talking about casual news. I'm talking about the kind of announcement that changes everything, the kind that makes your heart stop for a second, the kind that forces you to sit down and ask God if this is really happening. Right now, in this very moment, there's a person in your life or someone from your past who's been wrestling with a decision that involves you. They've been packing their room at night. They've been staring at their phone wondering if they should reach out. They've been asking God for signs about whether to tell you what's really in their heart. And heaven has been orchestrating something behind the scenes that you haven't seen yet. The angels have been whispering into situations, redirecting paths, closing doors that needed to be closed, and opening windows you didn't even know existed. God has been preparing both of you, separately, in ways that are about to collide. If you feel a stirring in your spirit right now, if something inside you just leaped when I said that, type, "I believe," in the comments. Let that be your act of faith, your agreement with what heaven is already setting in motion. Because this message isn't for everyone watching. It's for the ones who have been in a season of silence, the ones who have been wondering if God forgot about their heart's deepest longing, the ones who have almost given up on the idea that love could surprise them again. You've been in a waiting room, and you didn't even realize the door was about to open. Now here's what you need to understand before I go any further. This news, this announcement, this shift that's coming isn't going to arrive the way you planned it. It's not going to fit the script you wrote in your head during all those nights you couldn't sleep. It's going to come suddenly, but not randomly. It's going to feel overwhelming, but not destructive. It's going to require you to make a choice, but it won't be a choice made out of fear or pressure. God is about to present you with something real, and you're going to have to decide if you're ready to walk into it. Let me take you somewhere in Scripture that's going to unlock this for you. In the book of Esther, there's a moment that most people skip over because they're so focused on the drama of the story. Esther had no idea she was being positioned for a divine encounter. She was living her life, probably wondering about her future, probably asking God what her purpose was. And then, seemingly out of nowhere, she's brought before the king. But it wasn't nowhere. It was a setup. A divine setup. Esther 4:14 says, "And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this." That phrase, "for such a time as this," is not just about Esther. It's about you. Right now, you're in a position you might not fully understand. You're in a season that's felt confusing, maybe even painful. But heaven has been aligning things, moving people, shifting circumstances, all so that when this moment arrives, you'll be exactly where you need to be. Your soulmate, or the person God has been preparing for you, is about to step into a realization. They're about to see something they've been blind to. They're about to feel something they've been running from. And the news they're carrying, the decision they're about to make, is going to reach you like a storm. Not to destroy you, to awaken you. Let me paint you a picture of what this might look like, because I want you to recognize it when it happens. Imagine you're going through your normal day. Maybe you're at work, maybe you're running errands, maybe you're sitting in your living room scrolling through your phone, trying to distract yourself from the ache you've been carrying. And then you get a message, or a call, or you run into someone unexpectedly, and they say something that flips your world upside down. It might be a confession. It might be an apology. It might be a declaration of feelings they've been holding back for months, maybe even years. It might be an invitation to something you thought was off the table. It might be a revelation about how they've been seeing you, thinking about you, praying about you when you assumed you weren't even on their radar. And in that moment, everything you thought you knew shifts. Your heart races. Your mind scrambles to process it. You feel a mix of shock, relief, fear, and hope all at once. That's the storm I'm talking about. And here's the part that's going to test you. You're going to have to respond. You're not going to have the luxury of hiding or pretending you didn't hear it. You're going to have to bring it to God and ask Him what to do with it. Because not every storm is meant to be run from. Some storms are meant to be walked into, with faith as your anchor. Now, before I go deeper, I want you to do something. If you're watching this and you've been sensing something shifting in your spirit lately, if you've been feeling like God is preparing you for something, but you can't quite put your finger on it, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss the next message. Because what I'm about to share next is going to require you to be spiritually alert, and I don't want you to miss it. If you feel led to support this channel so we can keep bringing you these prophetic messages, you can use the Super Thanks button or join our membership through the link in the description. Your support helps us reach more people who need to hear what heaven is saying. Let's keep going. There's a reason this news is going to feel like a storm. It's because you've been in a drought. You've been in a season where nothing seemed to be moving, where your prayers felt like they were bouncing off the ceiling, where you started to wonder if God was even listening. And then suddenly, everything changes. That's how God works. He doesn't drip-feed breakthrough. He floods you with it. In 1 Kings 18, Elijah prayed for rain after 3.5 years of drought. He prayed, and at first, nothing happened. He sent his servant to look toward the sea, and the servant came back and said, "There's nothing." Elijah told him to go back. 7 times the servant went and looked. 7 times he saw nothing. But on the 7th time he saw a small cloud, no bigger than a man's hand. And Elijah said, "Go tell Ahab to get ready, because a heavy rain is coming." Within moments, the sky turned black with clouds, the wind picked up, and a massive rainstorm poured down. That's what's happening in your life right now. You've been looking at the horizon and seeing nothing. You've been checking your phone, your heart, your circumstances, and it's felt empty. But there's a cloud forming. Small right now, barely noticeable. But it's there, and it's about to turn into a downpour. The news your soulmate is carrying is that cloud. And when it reaches you, it's going to break open the heavens in your life. You need to be ready for it. Not ready in the sense that you have everything figured out. Ready in the sense that your heart is postured correctly. Because here's what I've seen happen to so many people in this exact situation. They've been waiting for something, praying for something, crying out to God for something. And then when it finally shows up, they panic. They second-guess it. They talk themselves out of it. They let fear convince them it's too good to be true. They let past pain whisper that it's going to end the same way everything else did. And they miss the moment. Don't be that person. Let me tell you what God is saying to you right now through the Spirit. He's saying, "I didn't bring you this far to drop you." He's saying, "I didn't heal you from the last heartbreak just to wound you again." He's saying, "I didn't teach you discernment so you'd be confused when the real thing shows up." He's saying, "Trust me, I know what I'm doing." In Jeremiah 29:11, God says, "For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." That verse isn't just a nice quote to put on a coffee mug. It's a promise, a covenant. God has plans for you, and those plans include the person who's about to walk back into your life or step into it for the first time in a real way. But you have to trust His timing. You have to trust His process. You have to trust that even when it feels sudden, it's not random. It's strategic. Now let me address something I know some of you are thinking. You're wondering, how do I know this is really from God and not just my emotions? That's a good question. That's a wise question. And I'm going to give you something practical to hold on to. When God is behind something, there will be confirmation. Not just in your feelings, but in your spirit. Not just in what the person says, but in how their actions have been lining up. Not just in the excitement of the moment, but in the peace that settles underneath it. Colossians 3:15 says, "Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts." That word "rule" means to act as an umpire. It means that peace is supposed to make the final call. If this news, this announcement, this person coming back or stepping forward is from God, you'll feel a deep peace even in the middle of the storm. It won't be a peace that eliminates all nervousness or butterflies. It'll be a peace that says, this is right, this is aligned, this is from Him. But if there's chaos, confusion, pressure, or a sense that something is off, that's your signal to slow down and pray harder. God will never rush you into something that's going to harm you. He'll never pressure you into a decision that goes against His word. So when this news hits you, don't just react. Respond. Take it to God. Ask Him to confirm it. Ask Him to show you if this is His will or just a distraction. And then trust what He shows you. Let me tell you what else is happening behind the scenes that you can't see. Right now, as you're watching this, the enemy is trying to set up roadblocks. He's trying to plant doubt in your mind. He's trying to remind you of past failures. He's trying to make you believe that you're not worthy of something this good. He's trying to convince you that it's safer to stay where you are, alone and protected, than to step into something that requires vulnerability. But here's what you need to know. The enemy only fights you this hard when there's something worth fighting for. If this wasn't real, if this wasn't significant, if this wasn't part of God's plan, the enemy wouldn't be working overtime to stop it. The very fact that you're feeling resistance, that you're feeling fear, that you're feeling like this is too big, is actually confirmation that it's real. John 10:10 says, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." Jesus came to give you fullness, not just spiritually, but in every area of your life. That includes love. That includes partnership. That includes the kind of relationship that reflects the way God loves you. And the enemy hates that. He hates when two people come together in God's timing because he knows the kind of power and purpose that union carries. So he's going to throw everything he can at you to make you run from it. Don't run. Stand firm. Do you feel that shift happening in your spirit right now? If you do, type, "I trust God" in the comments. Let that be your declaration, your battle cry, your agreement with heaven that you're not backing down. Now let me take you somewhere most people don't want to go, but it's necessary. Before this news reaches you, before this person steps forward, you need to make sure your heart is ready. And I don't mean ready in a superficial way. I mean healed. I mean whole. I mean free from the baggage of the past. Because if you're still carrying bitterness, if you're still holding onto unforgiveness, if you're still nursing wounds from the last person who hurt you, you're going to project that onto this new situation. You're going to sabotage it before it even has a chance to breathe. God is doing something new, but you have to let go of the old. Isaiah 43:18-19 says, "Forget the former things, do not dwell on the past. See, I am doing a new thing, now it springs up. Do you not perceive it?" God is asking you right now if you can perceive the new thing He's doing. Or are you so stuck looking backward that you're going to miss what's right in front of you? Let me give you a real example of what this looks like. There's someone watching this right now who was in a relationship that ended badly. You were lied to, betrayed, maybe even abandoned when you needed that person most. And since then, you've built walls. You've told yourself you're protecting your heart, but really, you're just punishing everyone else for what one person did. And now, God is bringing someone into your life who's nothing like that last person. Someone who's honest, consistent, intentional, and genuinely seeking God. But because you're still wounded, you're going to test them in unfair ways. You're going to look for red flags that aren't there. You're going to push them away before they get too close because you're terrified of being hurt again. And you're going to miss the blessing God spent years preparing for you. Don't do that. If you recognize yourself in that example, I need you to do something right now. I need you to release it. Out loud if you can. Tell God, I forgive the person who hurt me. I release them. I let go of the pain. I choose to trust you with my heart again. That's not weakness. That's strength. That's maturity. That's faith. And it's the only way you're going to be able to receive what's coming. Because what's coming is big. What's coming is real. What's coming is going to require you to be brave. Let me shift gears for a moment and talk about what this person has been going through. Because understanding their journey will help you have compassion when they finally speak up. Your soulmate has been in a battle. They've been wrestling with God about you. They've been trying to convince themselves that what they feel isn't real, that it's just infatuation or loneliness or timing. But every time they try to walk away, something pulls them back. Every time they try to distract themselves with someone else, it doesn't work. Every time they pray about it, they feel God saying, "Not yet, wait, I'm preparing both of you." And that's been frustrating for them. Because they're ready. Or at least they think they are. But God has been doing surgery on their heart too. He's been removing pride, selfishness, immaturity, fear. He's been teaching them how to love the way He loves. He's been showing them what it means to lead spiritually, to protect emotionally, to honor you the way you deserve. And now they're finally at a place where God is releasing them to speak. But it's terrifying for them. Because they don't know how you're going to respond. They don't know if you'll believe them. They don't know if you've moved on. They don't know if you're going to shut them down before they even get the words out. So when they do reach out, when they do tell you what's on their heart, I need you to remember that it took everything in them to do it. Proverbs 18:21 says, "The tongue has the power of life and death." Your response to them is going to either breathe life into what God is building or kill it before it starts. I'm not saying you have to say yes to everything they ask. I'm not saying you should ignore wisdom or discernment. But I am saying, be kind. Be open. Be prayerful. Don't make a decision out of fear or pride. If this is from God, He'll confirm it in ways you can't deny. And if it's not, He'll make that clear too. But give it a chance to breathe. Give God room to work. Let me tell you what happens next after the storm hits. After the news comes, after the shock wears off, after you've had time to process and pray, you're going to enter a season of decision. And this is where a lot of people stumble. Because decision requires action. It requires you to stop sitting on the fence and choose a direction. It requires you to stop playing it safe and step into the unknown. And that's uncomfortable. Most people prefer to stay in the familiar, even if the familiar is painful, because at least they know what to expect. But God is calling you into something unfamiliar. Something you've never experienced before. Something that's going to stretch you, challenge you, grow you, and ultimately fulfill you in ways you didn't know were possible. Joshua 1:9 says, Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. That's not a suggestion. It's a command. God is telling you to be strong and courageous because He knows what's ahead, and He knows you're going to need that strength. But He's also promising that He'll be with you. You're not walking into this alone. He's going before you, preparing the way. He's walking beside you, guiding each step. He's behind you, protecting your back. You're covered. So when the fear tries to creep in, when the doubt tries to whisper, when the enemy tries to convince you to turn around, remind yourself of that promise. God is with you. And if God is with you, who can be against you? Romans 8:31 says exactly that. If God is for us, who can be against us? The answer is no one. No past mistake, no current circumstance, no future obstacle can stop what God has ordained. Now let me talk about timing, because I know some of you are wondering when this is going to happen. Here's the truth. I can't give you a date. I can't tell you it's going to be next week or next month. What I can tell you is that it's closer than you think. There are signs happening right now that you might not be recognizing. Doors closing that needed to close. People exiting your life who were never meant to stay. Seasons ending that you've been clinging to out of fear. Lessons being learned that you needed to understand before the next chapter. All of that is preparation. All of that is God positioning you. And the fact that you're watching this video right now is not an accident. This is part of the confirmation. This is part of God saying, I see you, I hear you, I'm moving, stay ready. In Habakkuk 2:3 it says, For the revelation awaits an appointed time, it speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it, it will certainly come and will not delay. That word, appointed time, is key. It means there's a specific moment that's already marked on heaven's calendar. You can't rush it. You can't manipulate it. You can't force it to happen before it's ready. But you also don't have to fear that it's going to pass you by. Because when that appointed time arrives, it will happen. Exactly when it's supposed to. Exactly how it's supposed to. And you're going to look back and see how every delay, every detour, every disappointment was actually setting you up for this moment. Let me give you another layer to this. The news that's coming isn't just about romance or relationship status. It's about alignment. It's about partnership. It's about stepping into the fullness of what God created you for. Because when the right person shows up, they don't just add to your life. They unlock things in you that have been dormant. They call out gifts you didn't know you had. They challenge you to become the version of yourself that God always intended. Ecclesiastes 4:9-10 says, Two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up. But pity anyone who falls and has no one to help them up. God designed you for partnership. Not because you're incomplete without it, but because there's a level of impact and purpose you can't reach alone. And the person who's about to bring you this news, the person who's been on your heart, they're not just a romantic interest. They're a partner in purpose. A co-laborer in the kingdom. Someone who's going to sharpen you, support you, and stand with you as you walk out your calling. That's why the enemy has been fighting this so hard. Because it's not just about your happiness. It's about the assignments you're going to complete together. It's about the lives you're going to touch together. It's about the legacy you're going to build together. And hell doesn't want that to happen. But it's going to happen anyway. Because what God has joined together, no one can separate. And what God has ordained, no weapon formed against it will prosper. I want to pause here and ask you to do something. If you've made it this far in this video, if you're still here, still listening, still feeling the weight of this word, I want you to share this video. Send it to someone who needs to hear it. Someone who's been discouraged in love. Someone who's been wondering if God sees them. Someone who's on the verge of giving up. Be the vessel that carries this message to them. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do that now. Turn on the notifications, because the messages coming next are going to build on this one. God is speaking, and you don't want to miss what He's saying. Let me take you back to the storm imagery for a moment, because there's something important I need to unpack. When a storm comes, it's loud. It's intense. It disrupts everything. But storms also bring rain. And rain brings growth. What feels chaotic in the moment is actually the very thing that's going to cause your life to flourish. The news that's coming is going to shake things up. It's going to challenge your comfort zone. It's going to force you to confront fears you've been avoiding. But on the other side of that storm is a garden. A season of beauty, abundance, fruitfulness, and joy. Psalm 126:5 says, "Those who sow with tears will reap with songs of joy." You've been sowing. You've been praying, waiting, believing, hoping, even when it hurts. And now it's time to reap. The harvest is coming, and it's going to be bigger and better than anything you imagined. Let me tell you what else is going to happen when this news arrives. You're going to see God's fingerprints all over it. You're going to look back at moments that seemed random or painful, and you're going to realize they were all leading to this. That breakup that devastated you. It removed someone who would have blocked your blessing. That season of loneliness. It taught you how to be whole on your own, so you wouldn't enter this next season incomplete. That prayer that seemed unanswered. God was answering it in a way you couldn't see yet. Every tear, every sleepless night, every moment you thought God had forgotten you, He was weaving it all together. Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." All things. Not just the good things. Not just the easy things. All things. Even the things that hurt. Even the things that confused you. Even the things that made you question if God was really there. He was working it all together for your good. And you're about to see the proof. Now let me get really specific for a moment. Some of you watching this already know who the person is. You've been trying not to think about them. You've been telling yourself it's never going to happen. You've been dismissing the signs because you don't want to get your hopes up. But deep down, you know. And when I started talking about someone carrying news, their face popped into your mind immediately. If that's you, I need you to pay close attention to what I'm about to say. Stop running from it. Stop pretending you don't care. Stop building walls to protect yourself from disappointment. God is trying to get your attention, and you keep looking away. He's trying to prepare your heart, and you keep shutting it down. He's trying to align you with His plan, and you keep resisting because you're afraid. But fear is not from God. 2 Timothy 1:7 says, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." If you're afraid, that's not God's voice. That's the enemy trying to keep you from stepping into what's already been prepared for you. So let it go. Open your heart. Trust God. And watch what happens. For others watching this, you don't know who the person is yet. You've been asking God to reveal them. You've been praying for clarity, for a sign, for confirmation. And the news that's coming is going to be the answer to that prayer. It's going to come from someone you didn't expect. Or maybe it's someone you hoped it would be, but you convinced yourself it couldn't be. Either way, you're going to know. Because when it's real, when it's from God, there's a knowing that settles deep in your spirit. It's not just excitement or attraction. It's a soul-level recognition. A sense of, this is it, this is what I've been waiting for. And when you feel that, don't second-guess it. Don't let logic talk you out of what your spirit knows to be true. God speaks to your spirit first, and then your mind catches up. Trust the process. Let me address something else that's probably on your mind. You're wondering what you're supposed to do while you wait. You're wondering if there's something you should be doing differently, some way you should be acting, some signal you should be sending. Here's my answer. Stay in position. Keep praying. Keep seeking God. Keep working on yourself. Keep healing. Keep growing. Keep showing up in your life with purpose and intention. Don't put your life on hold waiting for this person to show up. Don't stop living because you're waiting for the news. God is still moving in other areas of your life, and you need to be present for that too. Psalm 37:4 says, "Take delight in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." That verse is often misunderstood. People think it means if you delight in God, He'll give you whatever you want. But it actually means that as you delight in God, He reshapes your desires to align with His will. So the things you desire become the things He wants for you. And then He gives them to you. But the key is delighting in Him first. Not in the outcome. Not in the person. Not in the relationship. In Him. When your joy, your peace, your fulfillment come from God first, everything else falls into place. And when this news arrives, when this person steps forward, you'll be ready. Not desperate, not needy, not incomplete, but whole, grounded, and confident in who God made you to be. And that's the kind of person who can build a healthy, God-honoring relationship. Let me paint one more picture for you before we start bringing this to a close. Imagine it's a few months from now. You and this person are sitting together, talking, laughing, sharing your hearts. And you look back on this moment, this video, this word, and you realize it was the turning point. It was the moment heaven broke through the noise and spoke directly to your spirit. It was the moment you chose to believe again. It was the moment you stopped letting fear make your decisions. And you're so grateful you didn't miss it. You're so grateful you stayed open. You're so grateful you trusted God even when it didn't make sense. That's the future that's available to you. But you have to choose it. You have to decide right now, in this moment, that you're not going to let fear win. You're not going to let past pain dictate your future. You're not going to let doubt steal what God has already released. You're going to stand firm in faith. You're going to trust His timing. You're going to believe that what He promised, He will do. And you're going to be ready when the storm hits. Because it's not coming to destroy you. It's coming to deliver you into your next season. Let me close with this. The news that's coming is going to be bigger than just words. It's going to be a shift, a transition, a new chapter. And you've been preparing for it longer than you realize. Every lesson, every trial, every moment of growth has been getting you ready for this. God doesn't waste anything. He's been building you, shaping you, refining you. And now you're about to step into what He's been preparing you for. So when it comes, don't shrink back. Don't play small. Don't let fear make you hide. Step into it with confidence, with faith, with the assurance that God is with you and He's not going to let you fall. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. Trust Him, not your feelings, not your logic, not your past experiences. Trust Him, and He will make your path straight. He will guide you. He will protect you. He will bring you into the fullness of everything He has for you. This is your moment. This is your season. This is your time. And the news that's coming is just the beginning. If this message resonated with you, if you felt the Holy Spirit moving while you were listening, I want you to do a few things. First, type "blessed and ready" in the comments. Let that be your declaration that you're ready to receive what God is sending. Second, like this video, subscribe to Prophetic Message channel and turn on the notifications so you don't miss the next word. Third, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Someone who's been discouraged, someone who's been waiting, someone who needs a reminder that God hasn't forgotten them. Be the vessel that carries this message to them. And if you feel led to support this channel so we can continue spreading these prophetic words and encouraging messages, you can use the Super Thanks button below or join our membership through the link in the description. Your support helps us reach more people who need to hear what heaven is speaking. Thank you for being here. Thank you for staying until the end. Thank you for being open to what God is doing in your life. I'm praying for you. I'm believing with you. And I'm excited for you to see what God is about to do. The storm is coming, but so is the blessing. Stay ready.